Alton Towers and Thorpe Park are two of the best theme parks in the UK and are home to some of the best coasters in the UK. With that comes a lot of comparisons, so I created the Versus series. Some of their most compared coasters of both parks will go head to head in 3 different categories, being layout, theming, and area. When one wins in a category, it gets a point. The coaster with the most points by the end wins. Or basically first to 2. Every comparison will lead up to the final video where I compare both parks to answer the age-old question of which is better. There will also be a small bit talking about the poll, but this won't affect the final score because it's not my opinion. I will be referring to them both as Inferno and Reborn throughout the video to make it easier for you to understand. Also easier for me to understand when scripting it. Also, in case it wasn't blatantly obvious, this series is extremely controversial, so for those that are easily triggered, please don't watch any further, and for those that won't, please just be civil in the comments. I'm not planning on being the cause of World War III anytime soon. If you'd like to see more of this series, then please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. Now let's get straight into it. I genuinely think that Inferno's layout is underappreciated and gets overshadowed by Reborn, because people just see it as a rip-off. Well, yes, both have a loop and a zero-G roll right next to each other, 2 corkscrews, and multiple helixes, but that doesn't necessarily make it a rip-off. Although Reborn does have one hell of a helix as well as a whippy corkscrew, especially a back row, Inferno handles both its corkscrews better with them interlocking as well as a faster loop. I think. People praise Reborn for weaving through the terrain, or you know.
You really think your feet are going to crack against the rock?
But Inferno still does keep close to the ground with the plants, bushes, trees, the lot, as near misses as well. Where Reborn's rocks add to the crater and the ground as part of its theme, Inferno's nature adds to the jungle part of its theme. Although it isn't as good as Reborn's rocks, it's still something to point out and does make up for it. Also, as a bonus for Inferno, it has a pre-section before the ride even starts, and it holds the world record for the longest pre-section on an inverted coaster. Reborn doesn't have a pre-section, or even a record. Wait, does it? Nemesis, Reborn, Alton Towers, world record. Ah, okay! It's really close, but I'm gonna have to go with Inferno. The pre-section and the interlocking corkscrews kinda carry it for me. Reborn's theming is so good, you could genuinely mistake it for a movie set. There's the sounds, the actors, the props, the mist effects of buildings, the massive helicopter, and on top there's the monster itself. The point is that its theming is incredible. The only thing I'd consider a downside is the bit in the queue where there's absolutely nothing there. I have a short up covering it if you'd like to go see that after this. Inferno, on the other hand, is a little bit lackluster, with the only visible theming being trees, mist effects too, like Nemesis Reborn, and a shed. Thorpe Park seems to have a lot of sheds, doesn't it? I think that it's more or less stylized, similar to the Smiler icon. The Smiler's bland look adds to its mysterious vibe, and Icon's adds to its clean, almost futuristic feel. Unlike Reborn, Inferno doesn't need to heavily rely on theming, because the nature is basically the whole theming being the jungle. And the volcano too, yeah. Although it is basically just a shed from the back, the front is mostly what people see, and it does look pretty cool. Its theming isn't as bad as people say it is, but still I've got to go with Reborn. It's got a helicopter, you can't argue with that. Actually it's got 2, doesn't it? Okay, that makes it even more Reborn. Inferno doesn't really have an area, so I'm counting it in between Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride and Rumble Rapids. Both Inferno and Reborn offer a wide variety of food, 2 flat rides, one being a pirate ship model, and a shop. I think that Inferno's flat rides are better, because Subterra scares the living daylights out of me, and Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride always has short queues, has incredible theming, and its soundtrack slaps. On top of that, Rumble Rapids is a water ride which Alton Towers lacks badly. In terms of food though, I'm going to go with Reborn, because I've actually had some of their food, specifically being donuts, and although they are a bit pricey, they taste very nice. Reborn has an arcade as well, themed to a training facility, which I find absolutely hilarious. Bro, imagine that aim training comes from Galga. and it has come down to this. Both are amazing coasters, and I still think that the other one is incredible, but I prefer Reborn. Not even joking, it's basically the exact same thing as last time. 6 people voted, again. It was a tie, again, but this time around, it added up to 100%. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen! And that concludes Inferno vs Reborn. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more of this series, then please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. But for now, goodbye.